whenever I was date, I would always say at the end of the first date if I liked them and wanted to see them again. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily say, sometimes it'd be like, what are you doing this weekend or something like that. But I would like try to make sure they know and then
Mm-hmm.
like reaffirm it over a text with like, okay, when can we see each other again? And I have to tell you, like people freak out about that. That little thing people would freak out about. There was someone I was dating at one point and we dated probably 3 months. We even went on a trip together.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, hey, just so you know, like I'm not seeing anybody else and I've deleted the dating apps. We don't have to label this, but I want to know if you're like on the same wavelength that we're kind of like moving in a direction of not seeing other people.
Mm-hmm.
That was the end. That was too much. And I feel like those kinds of things happen so often. And then people are in their situationships and they're not like actually moving in any direction. They're just treading water and not able to talk about
Right.
why.
But I'm sorry that happened to you. And
Oh,
again, I know, but I could see why you would be hesitant again to like why you wouldn't want to date. But to me, you dodged a bullet with that person because if they couldn't even say something to you like, hey, I'm not there yet. Like people have different
mm-hmm.
timelines. There's
Yeah.
it's impossible that two people dating are both gonna like fall in love at the exact time or come to the point of exclusivity at the exact same moment. So if she should have said, I really appreciate you sharing that with me. I'm not there yet. I could use a little bit more time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why like even with the ghosting, I mean, that really does a
Oh,
number on my clients, but I tell them these are the opportunities to develop some relationship skills. If you want to have a successful, happy, and satisfying relationship, you need to learn how to handle conflict. You need to learn how to deal with uncomfortable emotions. So instead of ghosting someone, tell them, like you could say something like, I don't feel a connection, or I feel a connection with somebody else, or I just don't see us as a long-term fit. Like
mm-hmm.
do something. I mean, obviously if someone was like abusive or
Right.
just unsafe, those don't apply, like block away if you want. But these are the opportunities. This is like the low hanging fruit stuff that people could be practicing. So, but to me, it's like that person, like I view it when stuff like that happens, I'm like, you know what, this blew up, or this was so bad, how
Right.
this ended was so crazy. I'm like, all right, got a clear sign. And thank God I dodged a bullet a few weeks in or a few months in versus finding this out when I actually developed feelings.
Right.
Because you can't always tell. And that's the other thing is like a lot of this happens so consistently that people just expect to know right away, like that this person is going to be a good fit. And that's what I said, like people just don't take the dating process for what it's supposed to be anymore. You have to assess the person. Like you have to know if you're compatible, and there is no way to do that without spending time with them. And not
Right.
just, hey, let's have 4 dates in 5 days, but over the course of time. Like how do they handle conflict? How do they handle when they're upset with you or when you ask for a need to be met? Like how do they respond? Like do they make you feel safe and secure? And that's the other thing is, I mean, attachment styles can predict behaviors. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think if people can identify their attachment styles and, how that's affecting their own dating and how they're picking a partner, that would be one thing that I would recommend people do. Whether they work with, their own therapist or do some online research. I do think
Right.
I love the growing body of literature that's been online for attachment because it can help a lot.
Thank you for listening to this clip from the full episode of Eyes Wide Open. Please like and subscribe for daily clips and new episodes that drop every Tuesday. I appreciate you.